is your emergency contact? Who should we notify in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. And as I mentioned yesterday, and continue on from yesterday, they let the black rabbit out of the shoe. At this time, I'm in my door, just kicking it, waiting for the show. Because, again, there's always a show when someone that's been ran off the yard and then, for whatever reason, they feel they can come back out. You know, you got ran off the yard in the first place because there's been an issue and the people no longer want you on this compound. Now, I don't agree with somebody just running them off the yard. You know what I mean? They should get smashed, especially if the violation warrants that you need to be disciplined or need to be handled. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm at my door kicking it, and I see my celly Omar over there powwowing with the DC dudes, with DC Tone and Wee Wee and the rest of them. You know, me, Omar's my celly. He's a black dude from Detroit. But again, I'm not going to be celly with somebody that I don't respect, that I don't care about. And if you're my celly and you're about to get into a confrontation, or potentially, I want to make sure that you're all right. So if that means if I have to aid and assist or whatever, that's just the way it goes with me. So I'm watching everything, you know, because my celly fucks with the DC real tough. He's been friends with DC Tone for a long time. They've been knowing each other for 20+ years. And my celly's from Detroit, so he really don't got anything to do with whatever, but just the way he is, the way that we are, he functions with Tone. So he wants to make sure Tone's all right. And that's how it goes. You have friends that are from different races. You have friends that are from different gangs. And if you guys are really friends, you guys are always watching out for each other, you know. And of course, there's always restrictions and limitations to whatever it is. Because, you know, most times, you know, dudes would come back and say like, nah, Mesa, I'm good. I got this. Or we got this or whatever. You just stay out of it, or vice versa. But just off the top, our mentality is always to look out for each other. So I'm in the doorway, and Omar walks past me. They just call chow. They just called us for chow. So when Omar walked past, like, what's up, Omar? What we doing? He's like, ah, man, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Tone said that ain't DC business, that's Muslim business. I said, all right, so we left it at that. I got up, we went to chow. You know, at this time, we're still in the middle of the lockdown for the sickness. So we're not really eating in the chow hall. We're just going up there, walking up to the chow hall, grabbing our tray, and coming back. And today we had baked chicken and mashed potatoes, you know. So we walk up to the chow, me and Omar walking up there, and I'm like, you know, as we're walking up there, you know, we're holding a conversation, and I'm thinking back, I'm like, Omar, I said, why you call that dude a black rabbit? He goes, man, you don't know about the black rabbit? I was like, nah, I ain't never heard that terminology before. That's bad news. That motherfucker bad luck. I said, yeah. I mean, it's going to be bad luck because, again, we already know that something's going to happen. Right now, they're just going through the politics of it, right? But at the end of the day, dude's not going to be able to stay on the compound. Everybody in our block knows this. And right now, we're on like a modified lockdown. So we're not able to go out and talk and have a conversation with other people from other blocks because these DC dudes, the Muslim dudes, and I guess the Texas dudes. Because the dude that came back out, Muhammad, he's from Texas. So, but they can't go and spread the word or share what's going on in our block because every block is just being escorted to chow and coming right back. So we come back. I got my tray. It's a styrofoam tray, 2 pieces of anorexic ass chicken, some mashed potato with some nasty ass gravy. I really don't care to eat that stuff. You know, I'll save the chicken and cook it with my rice or my soup later on. So that was my intention. I put it up, you know, and I go to get Omar. I go tell Omar, I say, man, what you trying to do? You trying to cook? What are we doing? He's like, oh, me and we're going to cook with Tone and them. So I was like, all right, well, let me get some of the vegetables. So I go get some of the vegetables from him. I'm just going to make me some fried rice and eat it with the chicken. You know, I already had my rice soaking, you know, because in a block, I make a pan out of soda cans. You know, you take the soda cans, you cut the top off, you cut the bottom off, split it and make a flat sheet. Then you fold it into each other until you get a pan about this yay big, and you can put it on top of your sink. And I cut up T-shirts, roll it up in a bomb, you know, roll it up in a bomb, put it on top of some, and light it, use that for the fire to cook my food. So I'm in the cell preparing my stuff. And but at the same time, I have my door open. You know, I don't have my door closed. I always keep my door open when I'm in the block. It's just out of habit. I want to be able to see who's walking by my cell and the rest of it, you know. And also, you know, because when I cook or when I'm drawing or something, sometimes I zone out and everything else disappears and I'm just concentrating on my task. For the most part, you know, I've never had any issues with anybody ever running up in my cell. But at the same time, when I know there's a brewing situation going on, I don't want to be, you know, clueless to what's going on. So I'm in the cell cooking, and I see Omar come back into the cell. I said, what's up, man? He was, man, they all grouping up. So I'm like, who's grouping up? He says, it's the Muslims and the Texas. So again, I go back by my door. You know, I got my stuff, my bowl. I'm whipping my food, and I'm looking. And how the Texas dude got involved is that dude Muhammad, he's a Muslim. He's been a Muslim since I met him all the way in 2001. The Muslims had ran him up. We had went to the imam, which was, you know, according to the DC politics and according to convict politics, he should have never did that. He should have just went and smashed dude. Dude is half his size anyway, you know. So we should have just went and smashed him if he had an issue with him. If he thought he was foul and thought that he dropped the kite on him, he should have smashed him and the situation would have ended right there and then, you know. But now he went to the imam to have the Muslims run this dude up top. Well, this dude comes back out on the compound because he's no longer saying he's Muslim, but he's running Texas now. Here's the things about people switching up in cars. The only cars that I've known that you've been able to switch up from is like if you used to be a Crip or some type of other gang or another race and you become Muslim, the Muslim accepts you into their community. But I've never seen anybody ever do it the other way around, where the Muslim, like if you get run off by the Muslim, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you some shit, right? Because they don't run nobody up. You know, they got all sorts of dudes in their car. They got rats in their car. They got sex offenders in their car. They got all sorts of grimy piece of shit dudes in their car. So if you get run up by the Muslim, you some shit, right? You either a weenie, whatever. It's not good. And I've never seen somebody get run up by a Muslim car and come back out and try to be part of, you know, a more official car. So when this dude comes back out, he tells SIS, oh, I'm not Muslim, I'm Texas. So for whatever reason, the SIS lets him out. So when he comes out, he comes up and he goes to a dude named Pro. He's from Texas. Or, yeah, I think he's from Texas. Texas or Florida. But he had the car for the South. And I don't know how he ever got in that position. And I think maybe it's just because of his size. He's a big kid. And I say kid because he's a youngster. He's like in his mid-20s. End up getting, I don't know, 30-something years or whatever, right? But he's only been in the system for a couple years. And Florence was the first spot he's been to. And sometimes a lot of people, you know, look at your size and for whatever reason, because they're not, you know, knowledgeable or whatever, or because they're ignorant or because they're scary or whatever, well, they elevate him to speak for the South car. And this dude doesn't know anything about anything. He's never been in prison. He doesn't know the politics. And another thing, he doesn't know how dangerous things are. You know, he's been used to being able to move around because of his bulk. People give him space because they see that he's a giant-ass human and, you know, don't want none of it. So he's able to get away with a lot of stuff as far as just his presence. And so the dude comes out and tells him that he's trying to run Texas. Where the other dudes that's in the South car in our unit was like, nah, man, fuck that dude. We ain't backing that dude's play. That dude checked in. We ain't trying to have none of that shit with us. We're not allowing, you know, all the other dudes in our unit was like, nah, we're not letting him ride south. That dude's a Muslim. The Muslim needs to go ahead and deal with that. You know what I mean? We ain't backing that play. And the Muslims trying to get him now. You know, there's like 3 or 4 dudes that, you know, that are Muslims in there that were nominated to go handle this dude. But again, I said the dude Pro stepped in and was like, hey, nah, man, he's one of our people, and I'm going to back his play. He's riding Texas. But again, the other dudes from the South was like, they weren't with that. They're like, nah, man, that dude can't run South. You know, he's a Muslim. Let the Muslims deal with him. So, you know, the Muslims and the Texas are powwowing. They go downstairs. I'm upstairs. I'm in about room 226. So, you know, our unit is a triangle. When you come in from the door, it goes this way all the way to about 113 and then bends the corner. So I'm upstairs by the pole, 226. They're down in 108 or 109. So from my room, I can see directly into their cell. And it's full. It's got half of it is Texas dude, half of it is Muslim dude. And they're all down there in the cell powwowing. So I'm on the rail. You know, I can't cook now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be in my cell zoning out, trying to cook or any of that stuff because it's heating up. So I can see in the cell, you know, they got the door closed, but I can see the people in the cell. Of course, I can't hear the conversation or anything. And I see them all, you know, going back and forth in each other's face, talking, you know, their hand movement, their hands gesture or whatever. And the homie Tone walks by me, walks behind me. And I'm like, what's up, Tone? It's like, what's up? It's like, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. And he walks down the stairs. He went towards the TV. And, you know, I'm just observing the whole block. And he goes to the cell. And he opens the door and goes into the door where the Muslim and the Texas dudes are powwowing. The door closed. You know, in my mind, I'm like, what is he doing? You know, I thought it didn't have nothing to do with the DC, you know. So Omar comes over. He's like, hey, man, you seen Tone? I said, man, he's in that cell. And Omar's like, what the fuck is he doing down there? That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. I said, I don't know. So now me and Omar, we're on the tier watching watching what transpired. Because, you know, one, Omar's my cellie. And two, Omar fucks with DC Tone real tough. So now we're kind of brought back into the conflict, you know, indirectly. So from where I'm watching, I see Pro's hand on the wall. I'm Pro's back on the wall, and Tone's in his face. Whoa, whoa, whoa! You know, this is all I'm seeing, like this, like he's just drilling into Pro. And you know, for me, all the warning signs come up because, you know, he's a grown-ass man, Pro. And, you know, anything, you know, as far as us, we have our pride and we have our ego. We don't really take it lightly when we're getting scolding by another man. But DC Tone is feared throughout the system. Feared and respected. He's always been one of them dudes that has always carried himself above question. He's a good dude. I've met him in Atwater. We did time together in Atwater. I've known him. I've known his homeboys, the people that he associated with, by all counts, as far as convict time, as far as man time. He embodies it, you know. But at the same time, he's a vicious dude. He ain't going for nothing. He's been in wars. He's been in riots. He's been through all that, right? And everybody that's in our unit knows his reputation, knows what he's capable of. So he has a lot of respect and even a certain level of fear. So I see them sitting there, you know, toning the dude's face, pointing at him, just drilling him. Like, I can't hear the conversation. I'm upstairs, but I can pretty much, you know, get a gist of what's going on. So after a few minutes of that, the door swings open. Tone, you know, and while Tone was in there, 3 DC dude goes and they're holding the door. They're posted up on both sides of the door, held, you know, standing post. Now this time, I'm trying to figure where the Black Rabbit's at. You know, me and Omar's like, man, where'd the Black Rabbit go? I was like, I don't know. I don't see him. And I don't know where he's at. He's in the unit somewhere because they already closed the movements for the chow and everything. Our door is locked, so everybody that lives in the block is back in. You're not going to be able to be walking around the yard or nothing at this time because, you know, it's still a modified lockdown because of the sickness. So after you come grab your food, you're back in your cell or you're back in your unit. So I'm like, well, where's the Black Rabbit at? You know, and we don't know where the Black Rabbit at. We don't know what's going on. All we're focused on is them dude in the cell, and then now the 2, 3 DC dudes that pulled up or post outside. Well, anyway, the door opens out, and Tone comes walking out of the cell. After Tone comes out, Pro comes out behind him. When Pro comes out, he has like a uncertain look on his face. He's looking up at the tier, you know, looking around. You know, just like he's kind of uncertain of what his intention is or what he wants to do. Then I see him reach into his sweats. He has sweats on. I see him reach into his sweat, and he pulls out a padlock. You know, it's a master lock hooked up to a belt. And he's holding it. You know, like, for me, all this stuff is still fresh in my mind. You know, it just only happened, you know, 2 years ago, 2021. And like I said, I'm waiting to go home. And I'm like that, you know, and it just reminds me that how anxious I am to leave, because no matter what, you know, anything at any time can jump off. So Pro pulls out the padlock and he's looking around. He looks around, surveys the scene, and he sees Tone walking towards the stairs, you know, to come back upstairs, because Tone live upstairs just like 3 cells down from me. Then I see Pro turn around and starts walking after him. Well, to get the rest of the story, you got to come back tomorrow. Welcome to the USP.